lost like within the last 18 months, not even 18 months. You guys, I think, have lost like what, 5?
5, yeah.
You've lost 3 this year, and you lost.
We lost 3. We lost to Inter. And we lost to Man United on fucking penalties.
Right. Well,
no, and we lost something else. So we've lost 5 or 6. But Mark, isn't that incredible? Kivior has started 19 times and we never lost. So
don't jinx yourself.
No. Oh, there we go, Mo. Because I started bringing in Barcelona players to piss Mo Master off. Gary, how are you, my friend? Very good.
Hello, Mark. Hello,
hey,
John.
Man, how's it
I'm still buzzing. I don't know about
Ted.
you.
I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not buzzing like you, but I am happy. Everybody said, this whole you got bigger fish to fry type thing, and it's like, all right, well, you know what? We're actually living that now because everything else is secondary to whatever we're doing, right? We don't necessarily care too much about the league anymore, but we definitely care about the Champions League. So why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why not just singly focus? Plus, we've been forced to do that anyways. So hello there. I get Anders, got Ian, got Ryan G. Welcome to the show. But yeah, it is. I mean, everything seems to be playing, perfectly for us. We're playing teams that, aren't going to do low blocks on us, and we're hurting them for it. So why not? Why not? And they're not changing. So what else are we going to do? So we're taking advantage, and plus we're getting healthier. And every time Saka steps on the pitch, I think he just gets better and better. So, he's hungry, and we need somebody better up top. So you know what? That's what we're. He's gonna. He kept us alive, I think, when everything else was falling apart around us, and now we're realizing why he is should be considered one of the top players out there, top young players out there, right? I mean, every time they compare him to a player, said player shows us why you shouldn't do that. Right, especially in the Premier League, any player they bring up, it's like
I've always had problems when people do that. It's just like, look, why does he have to be compared to this player? Why can't he be the next Saka? Why can't he? Or you know what I mean? Rather than like this whole like LeBron James and Michael Jordan. No, just be LeBron James. You don't have to be Jordan.
Yeah. And you know what? You can't. That
argument the argument just doesn't make. I mean, yes, you could throw it out there and you could argue. I know what I would argue, but just sometimes I find these arguments to be moot.
I would argue that the person making that comparison, the person like Michael Jordan, is 1,000 times better than the person making that claim.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the only thing that you can say.
Yeah.
No, because the problem is you want to compare. All the comparisons begin when somebody's on a purple patch.
Yep.
When somebody is like the Phil Foden thing, when he was like boom, 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 game after game after game for 5 games. And then the rest of the season was nothing. The beginning of the season was nothing. And he gets player of the year, young player of the year. And you're like, are you out of your mind?
Well, that's the whole thing. You don't look at nobody looks at the body of work and what they mean to their club. And you know what we've seen from the last 5 years, right? We see he sat on the bench and watched an FA Cup, right?
Yep.
And since then, all he's done is just take control of this team in his own, and just by being out there and performing, and each year getting better. I look at his numbers all the time, and I'm like, you know what? Next year he's easily going to get 25 GA in the league, and he did that, and he's continued to do that, and he'll continue to do that, based on what we've seen so far. So yeah, not only that, but then everything's on him. We don't have a striker. Our left wings aren't consistent. They're not good. right? We're missing an attack in mid to help him. You know, sometimes he disappears on us, but the one thing you have all the damn time is you have Saka, you have your two center backs, and we always have a goalkeeper, no matter who it is. Name it, it doesn't really matter. We've had that all the time. You've had a spine, and then you've had Saka off on the right. I always thought you should just move him into the middle, maybe help a little bit there, but they're keen to keep him out on the right. I was like, all right, and you know everything goes to the right, and nothing goes wrong when it goes to the right. You know it's going there. You bring 1, 2, 3, 4 players. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? And then if you only bring one, you're in trouble. So nobody does. Not too many people will do that. And if they do it too late, you know, he'll make him pay. So I just he's a good player. He's not going to be a flashy player kicking the ball over his head, running past people, but he's sound, consistent, and you know what, that works. So that's like Duncan, right? If you guys know the Spurs over here in the States, Duncan was called Big Fundamental because he could do the little things right, and he did them right. Tim Duncan
and San Antonio Spurs. Be very careful, Gary.
Yes.
You are an Arsenal fan, and there are some Spurs fans in the house.
Well, I did say the word, and I don't. But I said the American. I said the American one, fellas.
It sounded so weird when you said it.
I don't
when
usually
you said
say
it,
that
I was
word,
like, "That
but
this
I
is
had,
fucking
But when
weird."
you talk about the big fundamental, Tim Duncan, you really can't say. You know, I don't have a problem with that team.
But we're talking to British people, Gary. They don't know Tim Duncan, and they don't know what the fuck.
I'm sorry.
There's only one
that word
Spurs.
shouldn't come off my tongue, but it's not about English football. But you know what? Like I said, he is fundamentally a sound player, consistent. You know what you're going to get, and you can try to stop him. And you know what? I always said, it doesn't matter if they know what you're going to do. You know why? Because they can't stop you even when they think they can. And that happens all the damn time. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. You're going to try to stop me, and I'm going to show you why you can't. And that's Saka.
Exactly.
It's like Larry Bird.
Yeah, Larry Bird is just going to shoot over you, and you're going to go, no, I'm all over you. And he's like, and then you blink, and the shot's gone. You're like, wait a second, I told you I'm going to shoot right now. Well, shot's gone.
Yeah. and you know what? That's why I was mad at Bukayo Saka. I was mad at him for the penalty, not for trying a Panenka. Do whatever you want. I'm just saying, Saka has gotten so good at nailing that left foot into the side netting penalty shot where nobody can save it anyway.
I don't like the idea of having. I didn't like the idea of having Erdegaard holding the ball in the first place. I think that. For me, I think that threw off in that type of atmosphere.
No,
knowing that if that ball goes in, what was going to happen to the crowd? What was going to happen to those players on the pitch? What was going to happen to the way this game plays out? Like that ball goes in, you're down 4-0. What happens to everything in white? Heads drop. Fans they're trying to get them back. Nah, that ball goes in. Shut it down. You know what I mean? I think shut it down.
That's what I'm saying. So nail it, smack it.
That's why I didn't like the whole game stuff. I was just like, you know what? You know we're gonna take it. You know he's gonna take it, and the ball goes in, and then next thing you know, we may even win that thing 6-7-0 because they're like their heads they would be out of it at that point. That's how I felt.
You can't put that on Odegaard holding the ball.
No, I didn't like that whole playing. I don't like that.
But that's part of it, Gary. It's part of what makes it more than a league match. Yeah. It's part of it's Odegaard standing there grabbing it, going, I am going to take all of this abuse so I can just give it to you.
Oh man, that was a good. I heard you guys talking about that day, like basically with like Partey basically showing us what a box to box CDM defensive mid, whatever you want to call it, is going to do. And you know
that's the day I changed my mind about Partey. I was like, I am sorry, sir, I didn't know your I didn't know your skills. I did not. I was not allowed to watch them
Yeah.
on television. Your skills, his skills in the middle of the park, like all day long. I was just watching him. And Mark, you and I kept saying to each other, they keep passing it to Partey. They keep Spurs keep passing it to Partey. And then
Yeah,
in
he
the
was
end, you
he
gotta
was
go
a bit
like,
of a magnet that day.
Yeah.
But he's also like
that's
he has a nose for
positioning,
he has a nose for the ball, and you guys are gonna miss him terribly.
in the first leg.
Yeah.
Second
I
leg,
I think
second leg, we got him
Arteta
back,
will
so.
come up with a solution because defensively,
Yeah.
I think Arteta is pretty. I think he's fine on finding an answer defensively, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter
What do you
happens.
think? What would you do in that
I
situation?
personally, well, it all depends on who's coming back healthy. Is White coming back healthy? Is is he going to get a couple games in before all of this happens? Is that because I really would like to see Skelly in the midfield. I know some people are like that's probably not
That's
going to
too
happen,
much of a
but he can
too
do
much of a
that
jump.
because he does it anyways, and now he just doesn't have to go back to the left back position. That's all. That's the only difference. There we go. That was a good night as well, my man over there. Dad's talking about their daughters. Yeah. That was a good day as well. I enjoyed that trip. Got to do a lot.
Enjoyed the entire trip.
Yeah.
I just we talked about it earlier, and just as far as like taking someone who has succeeded in such a in that was it right wing for Scully, Lewis Scully. He's on the right.
Scully's
on the
left.
Is
back.
he on the left?
Mm-hmm.
I keep him there in for Champions League, or for Champions League. I keep him there because this is where he's been all season.
Yeah.
This is the semifinals. And you want, to me, it doesn't make sense to throw an 18, 19-year-old into the midfield.
Everything he's done is that what you just said is everything that's happened from his first. Think about it, his first introduction was what? He's got a yellow card before he's even stepped on the pitch, and he's playing at Emirates, and it's 2-2. Why are we bringing him in? So whatever you just said after that, to me, it's nothing. He's fine. He will make do. He's done it all season. They put all these big why are you putting an 18-year-old in this situation? And all he's done is say, "I got this, coach." That's all he said.
Right, and I get that, but I think that to move him now.
What is that? You were looking at bugs flying or something.
To move him into a different position.
I'm in a very
game of
pitching, Gary.
This,
these are old flies who know their shit.
Why push that?
Oh, there you go. That was a good. Yeah. Oh man. No, I hear you, but I'm just saying. You know what? Arteta always has a plan. He does something silly. When we think it's silly, but he knows what he's doing. And so far, like I said, defensively, I have no issues with what he does most of the time because he's already thought it through. I believe, right? So bringing back Moreno, I kind of that means you bring Trossard out there. So now you've got Trossard and Martinelli playing, and I'm like, Saka's gonna have to do even more work. Right?
Yeah, fair.
That's so. I'm like, you know what? He'll be fine. But like I said, that all depends on if White is back and we have the fullbacks that we need. If not, then it's a Moreno comes back and we have to be concerned about how we're going to get, because Moreno's been playing really well, right? All he's done is goals and assists. It seems every other game. Yeah. So what do you do? I mean, I know people have said if we had brought in a striker and he had these same numbers, we would be impressed. But I think if we brought in a striker, we would see even more output from our front line because that's what they do. Their presence sometimes. We would be able to try different things with him that Moreno's not taking the ball down the center of the pitch and going one-on-one with the goalkeeper, which is what a striker will do for you. You know what I mean? So those things that you can't do, you're not going to do with Moreno that you would do with a striker, right?
Yeah. Arteta has taken the false 9 and turned it into a false 9.5 or something. I don't know. We're in the false 9 role where people forget about Moreno. That's the thing is like the center backs are used to, like the Real Madrid center backs are used to one striker being up there being the problem. And Moreno is just like wandering. He's just wandering and they don't know what to do. And that's why Moreno ends up with 2 fucking assists. He ends up with 2 assists and a goal against Real Madrid in one round of the Champions League. He ends up with 3 GA. Are you out of your mind? 3 GA
And
against
how many
Real
does
Madrid?
Mbappe and
0.
and Bellingham and
0.
and Rodrigo? And the only, and you know,
nil.
you know,
Nil,
besides,
0.
besides the assist from Saliba, you know, they don't get a goal, right? I mean,
0-0.
0-0 for sure. 0-0. And yeah, the Wolves have been doing all right. I see you got, you know, people are talking about you had your top on today, Mark, and you guys have played pretty well as well over the last couple.
We have been playing very well. I mean, it's a little late in the season to say this, but we're top of the form table, or damn near close to top of the form table, whatever that means.
Yeah.
We are no longer in 17th. We passed West Ham.
There you go.
I do think, given that long ass game that Man United played, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Went like 117, 120 minutes.
128,000 minutes because they
it went on and on and on and on and on. They're gonna be a bit tired.
Yeah, but he'll have them. I mean, the way Amarin will play,
of on and on and on and on and on, Anana is a fucking terrible goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Well, hasn't he been?
And Cunha will have a hat trick tomorrow.
Hey man, maybe, but I don't think he starts. I still think they got him on the bench for this one.
I don't think either one of the goalkeepers is consistent or good enough to go, well, you know what, you're better than him. It's all right. It will sit the other one. It's like you just don't have a goalkeeper. And you know what? I think Manchester United is learning the hard way why you probably shouldn't have brought your new manager in the middle of the season. You probably should have let him start the season or wait. You know what I mean? Because you just screwed up. You screwed. You know, I don't think to get much out of this season except for I know I don't want any of them, none of them. Please,
any of them, please, please, God, Bodo Glimt, please, Bodo Glimt, and who's the other fucking team that's there?
It's some names I don't even know. What did they say? There's 2 Slavic teams in the semis,
please,
and like that's the first time ever that one got in. Now 2 are in the semis, and all of the
For fuck's sake, please do not let Tottenham or Manchester United win the Europa League. Are you out of your mind?
That is the crazy part, right? You could have Manchester United and that team playing for a trophy, right? That's just disgusting.
No, because Gary, we could get to the Champions League final. We could play Barcelona and score 5 goals. But if it's 6-5 and we lose the Champions League final, and Man United or fucking Tottenham, for fuck's sake, win the Europa League, we're dead, Gary. We're dead. We got nothing. We got fucking nothing.
Yeah, that is crazy.
God, don't let that happen. Please don't let that happen.
When they were down 4-2,
sorry, Daniel. I appreciate your support, Daniel. 90. Daniel, I really do appreciate your support on the channel. But for fuck's sake, do not win the Europa League. God damn it. God damn it. God.
That talk about the ultimate gut punch. Up, they were down 4-2, and you're like, all right, this should be over, right? And they come back and win 7-6. You're like, what the world is going on here? How does that work? How does that? That's just like
knocked all of my microphones out of existence.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Bilbao. Yes, Atleti Bilbao. Come on, Bilbao. Vamos, Bilbao. Please, please, please. It's in Bilbao as well. Ryan G says it's in Bilbao. Fucking please, Basque Country. Please, 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 please. Oh man.
Well, that would be the ultimate. I can't even
Don't
say
let
it.
them win anything.
Just so that that team makes it to the finals and then gets like the series beat down. So
Gary,
yeah,
if we don't win the
Can
Champions
they win
League,
this trophy?
I hope so. I hope they get.
that's the Arsenal trophy, basically.
No, I don't want that to be the Arsenal trophy. No.
But Gary, if we don't win the Champions League and Manchester United win the Europa League, then it's literally Manchester United have
No,
doubled Mikel
you know,
Arteta's trophy count with 2 separate managers. They're so terrible. Don't let them win anything, please. Don't let them win anything. They're so bad.
yeah.
They're so bad. They're so
Well,
bad.
some teams save it up for the trophy.
I guess so.
They're so bad. They're so bad. They had Harry fucking Maguire as a striker, and it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
He was offside, but they don't call that, right? That was the crazy
He wasn't
part.
offside. He
No,
wasn't offside.
there was one
Gary.
where there was one where I could have swore he was offsides.
The final one, he
Yeah.
wasn't. The final one was a beautiful striker's heading goal. And I'm like, you fucking tossers. That Harry Maguire is your best. And Højlund is on the bench. I'm sorry. This just solidifies the fact that they signed Højlund because he sounded like Haaland. Like they only signed Højlund because his last name was close to Haaland, and he looked a little bit like him. Because how do you have him on the bench?
They look nothing alike.
They don't know
I'm
that.
sorry, they're
Mark.
both big
Yeah.
white blonde dudes. They look very similar to me.
No,
Maybe white people
I don't
see
know.
them
You know,
differently.
Holland has the nice skin, and Højlund is like.
I just see that white skin. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm racist.
I never went back and looked at it, Ryan, but I just yeah. No, I you know what? Like last season, they definitely should have lost to Coventry, right? Remember that game? They didn't call any fouls on them late in that game, so they've gotten like lucky calls or non-calls in these games. Going in Europe and in the cup games and stuff like that. So yeah. No, I would like to see total collapse. I'd like to see total collapse.
Look, Zanzi saying, imagine if Spurs win the Europa League and they end up bottom of the Champions League table. No, imagine if Spurs win the Europa League and they're fucking relegated from the Premier League, which is still a possibility. That's how crazy this is. We're like 4 games away from the end of the season, and it is still a mathematical possibility that Spurs get relegated.
No,
I don't think so, dude. There's only. Well, you're right. There's 18
points. Yes.
Don't you fucking correct me, Gary, unless you know what you're fucking doing.
Yeah, you're
right?
you know what that means, right? That means Ipswich Town wins this weekend.
Good. Fucking win it all.
No,
win it all. Ipswich.
They're playing Arsenal on Sunday.
Fucking
we don't lose.
Relegate Tottenham, and then they win the Europa League, and I'll be like, good, you finally got a trophy, you fucking cunts. Oh, Gary, you're making me very angry, Gary.
I hear you. BX, I'm not watching the Heat.
You.
I am. My daughter actually called me up. She's like, or she texted me. She's like, "Are you watching the Heat game?" I was like, "No, I'm actually watching Grey's Anatomy with the boss. We had Italian over. We had pizza and meatballs and Grey's Anatomy. So yeah, had those big meatballs. I was like, oh man.
You had an Italian over?
And her too.
Delivery guy.
No, did I say that too loud? No. Yeah. All right, Terrence. Have a good one. Have a good night. Yeah, and I mean, I don't think. I'll be surprised if Ipswich beats Arsenal, beats us this weekend. So yeah.
Gary, I want to go back way back,
Mm,
and I know we're over time on the show, so Mark's gonna start getting mad at me and sending me
No.
angry text messages.
No.
But Gary, I just wanted to back you up on the fact that Bukayo Saka is fucking phenomenal in ways that people don't understand. Because one of the biggest Arsenal legends still living to this day, Thierry Henry, was over the moon after that performance about Saka and Martinelli. And he said, I don't care about the goal. The fact that they tracked back every single time and defended like fucking champions, that's what mattered. That was the difference. Mbappe and Vinny did not. Martinelli and Saka did. Their team won. That's it. Right there. And the work ethic of Bukayo Saka to get back, and he stopped a counterattack, not even a counterattack, a very slow attack that happened, but he tracked all the way back and individually stopped across into the box and got a free kick or a throw in or something like that. But the fact that they are willing to do that work and do that work so well is what we're missing when we don't have Bukayo Saka there. So Bukayo Saka's work ethic on and off the ball is what makes him absolutely spectacular, and which is why Foden couldn't even fill his teacup. Like,
yeah.
is
When
that a
they were comparing, I was like, Foden's had KDB in his prime. He's had all these players in their prime playing around him. They one time they did need him, he did show up, and then after that he basically went back to like, all right, you guys will be back, right? And they didn't come back, and he's off by himself, and he hasn't shown it all season. So, I think he's had it a lot easier than some. Yeah, he's talented, but he's had it a lot easier than some, and so that we always talk about what those special players do, right? When they have nobody, they like, all right, just come with me, right? Just come with me. Like, when City can't get a goal, KDB's like, I got this. I'll get the goal.
It's not Foden. It's not Foden that's got this. It's KDB that's got this.
Yeah.
And listen, saying Foden, as Ryan said, Foden is still a quality player. Absolutely. And so is Cole Palmer. But what I'm saying is, when they are fantastic in the good times, but in the bad times, where are they?
Yeah. No, but when you that comment that you put there, Mo Master, that's like saying, you know what? That's like saying, when you look at Real Madrid with a true striker who actually, a 34-year-old striker. Remember how they played? You remember how that Real Madrid team played with like a 34-year-old striker compared to like Mbappe, who was supposed to be the world, one of the world's best? It's different. It's different, right? It's different, right? And that's what we're talking about.
Gary, this is a Spurs fan down here. Daniel, he is agreeing with us on this. Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. You're my favorite Spurs fan in the world, I think, man.
Yeah.
By far. Yeah. But he said exactly the only way that you're getting a result away in Madrid is staying structured to a T. Went out of possession, and then Arsenal realized Madrid were there for the taking. Fair play to Arsenal. Thank you very much, Daniel.
Without Courtois there, the game, the leg would have been over. I mean, the shot. If
Onana was in goal, if Onana was in goal, are you out of your mind? That's an 8.
Yeah. I mean, there's he stopped like they stopped 3 shots in one sequence and then 2 shots in another. And you're like, damn it, we're not going to score today because that's all that they're clearing the lines. The goalkeeper's getting 2 stops all in the same sequence. You're like, what the well? How are we going to score? And then Rice is like, I'll try this. You know what? And I'll try this again.
And that's what it takes. That's what it takes is a fucking player to step up and go, let's go. And Mo Master, that's not my fucking fault. That's Ancelotti's fault.
He he's one of the best attackers in football, right? He's considered one of the best attackers in football. And now you're saying, you know what? We moved him into a different position.
He doesn't know how to play as a number 9.
We're not even. No, think about this. We're not talking. You're making it sound like this is his first game playing there. How many games have they played now in this season where he's
40?
So now you're telling me he still doesn't know how to play the position, but he's one of the best attackers in the world. I don't know.
What that tells me is Ancelotti actually doesn't know what he's fucking doing, and he is Everton level. So yes, he's Everton relegation fucking level. That's where Ancelotti is. I'm sorry. You want to tell me Ancelotti?
What is in that beer of yours? What's in that beer? Are you sure it's just beer?
It is. It's beer, but I'm full of piss and vinegar right now. Like, let's fucking go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the nonsense part of our show.
What's nonsense? Ancelotti is fucking base level. Sorry.
Base level.
Ancelotti walked into a Real Madrid team that all you need. Zinedine Zidane walked into a Real Madrid team. How are you not saying Zinedine Zidane is one of the best managers of all time? Because he's not. Because he walked into fucking Real Madrid. Done. Ancelotti gets fired from Everton. Oh, he's the best manager of all time. Fuck off. Matter of fact, had Ancelotti gone and called Sean fucking Dyche, he would have got some advice to play Arsenal like Everton, and they would have beat us. They would have beat us 1-0 home, 1-0 away. They would have beat us if they played us like Everton, because we can't fucking beat Everton. Am I wrong, Gary?
I'm letting you go, man. You let the pipes go. Go on. You're doing work.
No. Mark's talking about my beers now.
I didn't say shit
I was
about your
talking
beer.
about your beers.
I did not say shit about your beer.
I did.
I just said that we were at the nonsense part of our program.
That's what I'm saying,
wrong.
Ryan. That's what I'm saying, Ryan. Ancelotti did the double with Everton over Lille. Exactly. Because he had Everton who told him to play like a bunch of bitches, and they beat us like that. Then he goes to Real Madrid and he thinks, oh, we are now strong. We can play them. No, you can't, my friend. Play us like Everton. You win every week. We fucking draw with Everton, beat Real Madrid, draw with Brentford, and then beat Real Madrid. That means you suck as a coach. You are shit as a coach. Those are 2 teams that could have showed you how to get a draw against Arsenal. Jesus fucking Christ. Carlo Ancelotti, go home. Go back to Everton.
Oh,
fuck.
man.
Gary, Jesus Christ. Playing seriously. A bunch of bitches.
There you
Indeed.
go. That was great. It's a good way to end the show. Everybody.
Wait, are we ending the show? No, I'm just getting started.
That's what it sounds like.
The
after party, right? Doing an after party.
All right, guys. If you guys want to hear more of what I got to say, because I'm just getting started, and here we go. We will be backstage. Please join us backstage if you want to join us. We just put the link there. So Ryan G, Mo Master, Pink Cushion, Stefan or Stephanie, Stephen, whatever you call it.
Stefan.
Y'all, Stefan, you can join us all backstage. Jimmy Bremmers goes, very good to see you. Join us backstage if you feel like it. We will be hanging out and talking mad shit for the next few minutes. So, otherwise, thank you guys for joining us. Gary, love you, my friend.
Love you too.
Tell us when's your
Sure.
next show? Tomorrow morning, right?
Tomorrow, yeah, actually tomorrow I'm doing the watch along on Mr. Arsenal podcast for the Women's Champions League first leg against Lyon. So I'll be there
Let's
doing
do
that at 7:30 and then at 10. Yes, check us out on the road trip. There'll be games going on. We'll be chatting it up about the games and about whatever we want to talk about. It's kind of like what Lolo's doing now, but we probably won't be having this many drinks at that time, at least for me in the morning. So check us out.
So you're saying you'll be a little bit more coherent?
Yes, I'll make a lot of sense, and people won't go, "You're talking nonsense."
Wait,
Yeah.
Did I not make sense?
You were perfect. You were perfect.
Thank you. I thought I made sense. I may be loud and belligerent, but I thought I made sense.
You were great.
I will now in the post game show. I will not make any sense. I'm just letting you know.
So it's gonna get
I'm
worse,
planning
people.
on making 0 sense.
Get your cameras
Mark,
out.
Mark, thank you so much for being here tonight. Are we going to Dram Shop? Is that the key? All right, here we go. You already said absolutely. You already said absolutely.
Oh no!
I'm not going to Dram. I'm staying home.
Okay. All right.
I think that's what's gonna happen to Mark tonight. Mark, do not answer the door. Make sure all the windows are locked. Actually, hide in the attic. So everything.
If anybody
in
can
front of-
figure out what movie that is, that Cuba Gooding Jr. is strangling Lolo, you win a membership. There you go. All right, guys. Much love to you guys. Thank you, Director John, as well. Killed it again. Good night, everybody. Adios, bitches.